I got up this morning really early so I could finish this doodle that I started working on yesterday. The drawing that I'm doing is in a new sketchbook that I got last week, and it's about 4 by 6 inches. It's got this little strap part on it that holds the sketchbook together, and it has a part on the side that allows you to hold a pen or a pencil in it. And I'm drawing here with the Rotring Isograph 0.40. This drawing took me about an hour and a half, something like that. But I got up this morning really early, ate some breakfast, a bowl of oatmeal with some strawberries, and now I'm making some tea. It's green tea, and I forget what the other one is called, but I'm going to have that and then probably make some more food later on. But that's my day so far. Might not seem exciting, but I think doing too much all the time gets to where you don't really enjoy the more simple things. You know, like if you had all the pens that you could ever need, and all the sketchbooks you could ever want, and all the papers, that wouldn't really make a difference if you never practiced drawing. You really wouldn't get any better. And I forget where I was even going with this, and if I did continue talking about that, it would end up being a 1-hour talk, and this video isn't going to be that long. But if you notice the video is darker here, that's because the lighting, when I was doing the drawing yesterday, the sun was going down, and I didn't turn my light on because my DSLR was recording at a set brightness. And to change that, I would have had to stop the recording, which would have made an extra video file. So I just left it that way, and that's just how it's going to be. But this drawing, I did some stippling I added into it. It's kind of like a face to the side. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And this paper, there's something about it that just seems to work really good with my Rotring isographs. The ink doesn't go through the paper. And speaking of ink, I actually put the Heart of Darkness fountain pen ink in my Rotring isograph to see if that would actually work, because somebody had asked me about that. And I think I've done it before. I'm not really sure. But I went ahead and tried that, and everything's working fine. The ink is actually flowing better than when I was using the ink that is for isographs. Now, the only thing is that if you shake the pen, you'll end up with more of a buildup of ink at the end of the pen, which could be a problem. But you could just wipe that off onto like a piece of paper towel or something. But the ink does flow better, which works for me because I like to draw kind of scribbly sometimes. Sometimes I just want to, finish the drawing quicker. Not that I want to get it done just for the sake of having it done faster, but a lot of the styles of how I draw is I've got all these things that are just there. I don't know how to really describe it. I'm not really much of thinking of anything. I'm just drawing stuff. And so if I start scribbling, something just happens where I'm like drawing, and then if I kind of speed up the process, I'll just start drawing more things. If I spend too much time on one area, then I'm not really zoned out as much. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain something that you're not thinking about, in which you're not thinking of anything when you're doing it. Kind of just in the zone, like a flow state. sort of type of thing. Yeah, I'll be doing lots of doodles in this sketchbook. Thinking about maybe getting more of these. It's just the perfect size for me to make my doodles and draw in. And I'll try to draw with Rotring 0.10 in this sketchbook. The paper is smooth, but it's not, really smooth like the moleskin. So I'm hoping that's not an issue with the 0.10. But if it is at all, then I'll just draw on my moleskins with the nibs that are smaller than 0.35. And the nibs that are like 0.10, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, those ones you can draw slightly at an angle and it won't, the tip of the pen won't drag on the paper as much as if you're drawing with 0.25, 0.35, the ones that aren't in increments of 10, like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, those ones you can kind of draw at a little bit of an angle. But I'm going to keep doing drawings with this fountain pen ink, and it's the ink that I've been using for my Lamy Safari that I've done lots of doodles with. So the ink works great. I haven't had any issues with it at all. And I think it's a combination of using this pen and this paper. The paper absorbs the ink really quickly, so it dries really quick. Whereas some papers, it doesn't really absorb it quickly. It kind of just sets on the surface. So if your hand goes over it, it smudges it. And I've noticed that with when I draw with this ink with the fountain pens, on different type of paper, it smudges a little bit. But I think that has more so to do with the paper than the pen. But if I draw with the Lamy Safari in the sketchbook, I don't really have that problem. I'll have to do some tests to figure out what it is about some papers that's so much more absorbent and holds the ink and dries up faster on the paper. But I'll talk to you later, and you have a good day.